Hey up, I'm Guy Kestevan, the Tester Man, and this is my simple, straightforward review of the Hope RX2 lightweight, flat mount, universal fit disc brake. And the reason it doesn't need to be a complicated review is it's just a really neat alternative to like your Shimano, SRAM or Campag options, and it's compatible with all the different brake setups from those guys because you can have it in dot or mineral fluid versions. Although I'm using it with post-mount adapter here, it's basically the flat mount version of their X2 mountain bike caliper. So it's even lighter and more compact than that. And the whole idea behind the design language here, I mean, it is slightly modified from the X2. And the idea is it'll sit in the minimal possible space. So, you know, if you've got a particularly small bike or the chainstays and seat stays are particularly close together, obviously not a problem here on this Mason Macro, but if you are cramped for space, then this brake is one of the most compact braking options. Typically for Hope, it's lovingly machined from one piece on the Lancashire-Yorkshire border in Barwick, and that, because it's machined in one piece, that makes it really stiff and strong for the size of it. So even though it's about the lightest brake you can get in this category, it comes in at 96 grams when I measured it, which is a gram lighter than Dura-Ace, about 4 or 5 grams lighter than the latest SRAM Red, but like 25 grams lighter than Shimano GRX 820. So, I mean, you know, those aren't massive weight savings, but the significant thing is, despite this, you know, being a really beautifully put together brake, it's actually the cheapest out of Dura-Ace and Red by 40 quid. So this is 100 quid rather than 140 quid, and even the GRX is only 20 quid cheaper, 80 quid. So it's as light as all the brakes that it's much cheaper than, and lighter than the brake it's more expensive than. Plus, you've got the option of black, silver, smoke, blue, red, purple and orange anodizing. I mean, I've just gone for the basic black here, but I still think that looks really neat. I mean, I probably should have given them a clean. The reason I'm talking through them now is I'm just about to change my Mason Macro from a drop bar setup into a flat bar setup. So I thought I'd best get these brakes chatted about while we have the relevant levers attached to them, because I mean, because it's flat mount, it is designed to work with drop bar levers in terms of, you know, the amount of fluid it's pumping through. In terms of how it works with those drop bar levers, absolutely spot on. Really good tight modulation and control, nice progressive pull, plenty of power. I'd say it's, you know, equivalent in power, even with these older generation SRAM levers, to the latest generation SRAM and Force, where you're getting that 15% power boost at the lever. I'd say this was just as strong, even with the older lever on it. So I'd be happy to say it's 10 to 15% more powerful than previous SRAM, and even slightly more powerful than Shimano and Campag. And so far, you know, I've been running this bike now for 6 months, and there's still a ton of life left on those original Hope pads. And it's, you know, it's easy to swap out system. You can see you've got that little circlip on the back there, and then that bolt just unbolts there. And it's just really nicely put together. Plus, you get their new bleed system, which they do their own syringe for it, but in theory it works with SRAM bleeding edge syringes as well. Although, if you remember from when I built this bike up, I did make a right mess of bleeding that rear brake. So make sure you've got the right SRAM kit to get a nice clean seal, because it's a kind of a quarter turn. Basically, the hex head is built into the syringe end, so you can kind of sneak it in and then undo it, and theoretically there's no leaking. But from my experience, there was quite a lot of leaking, and it was quite an awkward bleed. Certainly not as easy a bleed as actual SRAM bleeding edge, which feeds from the far far side of the cylinder rather than this side of the cylinder. But apart from that, that's really the only glitch I've had with this brake. And apart from that, you know, been great in all weathers. There's no squealing, which is quite often an issue with some Hope brakes, and it takes up a lot less space, and it's a lot lighter than the RX4, which is the bigger brake with the bigger pads, which I run on a tandem. Again, absolutely great brake, but if you want a really lightweight compact option, the RX2 is definitely the one to go for. So that's it really. If you want a small but mighty multicolour option, all fluid capable because it comes in dot or mineral fluid options, flat mount brake as an alternative to the big brands, then this Hope RXT has a hell of a lot to recommend it. Just be a bit careful with your bleeding, and hopefully you'll have better luck than I did when I was setting this up for the first time.